Hi, Year 7. I've just got a little video here about film genres. Now, we've studied film genres in the classroom, and we need to remind ourselves about the terminology. We need to get that terminology right so that when we are analysing our film, we can use the correct language. It's called meta-language. It's language that is associated with a specific type of study. So in terms of film, we use camera angle and we use sound, diegetic sound, non-diegetic sound. We also talk about the genre and whether the film is part of a genre or it subverts the genre or it uses a couple of different ways to tell its story. So here we have a web page on film genres that I have here, you can see. You can go straight to the web page, that's fine, and you can read the details here, which is great. Now the web page is just called main film genres or just film genre. You type it into Google and you're away. And it has all these little subsections and it's reasonably well ordered. Action, adventure, comedy, crime and gangster films. This bothers me here. Drama. And it says here, drama is serious, plot-driven presentations portraying realistic characters, setting life situations. I think drama is too broad a description in terms of what's going on. It's all drama. Drama is, of course, performance and acting and creating mimesis and diegesis. That is a transformation of idea between performer and audience. So really, drama could be in any one of those categories. I would suggest in Shakespeare's day, they called it tragedy more than anything else when it was drama. It's stuff of a serious nature. Okay, so that is our first sort of port of call. We go, what do we call this kind of film? So they're epics, horror films, musicals, dance, science fiction, which is getting a big one, war films, and of course the Western. Now, films can cross genre. For instance, Star Wars could easily be considered a Western and a science fiction. It has elements of both genre. The Western always had character tropes, such as the gunslinger who was found in the bar, and Solo found in the bar by Luke Skywalker. So despite the fact that it's a science fiction, it is also a Western. So these categories aren't just restricted, and films work across the line of each one. It was a much bigger issue in the video hiring days because they used to categorize the videos in this way. Netflix does to an extent, but when you go to Netflix, you'll notice, if you do, that you'll get something in action and you'll get it also repeated in science fiction. So genres are something that you need to think about in terms of making a film understandable before you go and see it, and then getting an audience expectation as we go. So you might have a favourite genre, you might like certain styles of films, and that will change over the years because films improve the way they organise their information to you, and they change the way you feel, and you change. You're going to grow up and probably want a more discerning film and less, alien robots, for instance. But what I'd like you to think about, what is at the moment, your favourite genre? What do you like? If someone says, we're going to go and see a film, someone in your family says this, which type of film would you want to see? Do you say to your mum, I want to go and see this one here because it's the latest Disney cartoon, or it's the latest Nickelodeon cartoon, or it's Frozen 2 or something like that? Or are you prepared to work outside of your comfort zone, as it were? Think about that for a moment and think about how genres work. And I want to introduce you to a really good website, and I'm going to type it in, and it's called this. I know it says TV and we're studying film, but that's by the by. It's called TV Tropes. Can we see that coming up? Now, if I were to load this, welcome to TV Tropes, a pop culture wiki. Yes, it's pop culture, but film comes into pop culture quite significantly, and serious film. This thing works in that serious film culture, and a trope is something that's recognisable in a film and possibly a genre. So what we're going to do is, what I'd like you to do is think about what are common tropes of each one. What does a romantic comedy have that's common? What does a Western have? What does a sci-fi film have? All of those questions we'll be answering over the next course of the term. And your essay will be responding to how the films you have studied use audience expectation and tropes as part of the way in which they engage and create the message. The Princess Bride appears to be a romantic comedy adventure, but it has a few other things going on. And we're going to talk about those characterful tropes as well. So, for instance, a trope in children's stories is the big bad wolf. And the big bad wolf, he makes an appearance in a couple of fairy tales, which you probably remember. So the big bad wolf doesn't actually exist physically. He is an idea in storytelling that there must be some big bad villain that will punish the character for their crimes and misdemeanors. So in the Three Little Pigs, the two pigs who don't prepare properly when they build their house, the wolf comes and blows the house down. Don't overspend on your mortgage or credit card. Simple. Or the big bad wolf gets Little Red Riding Hood. Don't stray from the path. So that's a trope. That character is a trope. And he can appear in many different forms. So we'll look at that, and we'll look at how characters in The Princess Bride are represented in other texts and films. So start to engage with the films you've watched up to this point in your life. Make a list of ones you liked and ones that you watched over and over. With the advent of the DVD, the Blu-ray and Netflix, you've had that opportunity as a generation. Some of you may never have enjoyed film at all. That's fine. But I think most would have had regular films that they watched on cold, wet, rainy days where not much was happening and you wanted to rest and sit down and watch a movie. So that's part one of our film study and exploration. There'll be more.